All right, new comic book day is already here, but let's take a look at the books on my pull list. Welcome back to Comics Are Dope. I'm BJ Kicks, and this is the pull list, the series I do every week detailing of the books that are coming out, what's on my pull list, what's on the chopping block, and what's on the maybe list that I'll be making a game day decision on. Now, today, as I film this, is New Comic Book Day, May 17th, 2023. I'm so far behind. It's been a busy work week, but I still wanted to put out this video so that you know what's on the list, especially if you're one of those people who doesn't buy comics on release day, or you wait until weeks or months out when they hit the unlimited services. Want to let you know what's coming out and what I think is worth reading for May 17th, 2023. So there's a lot of books on the pull list this week. And yeah, my list is kind of bloated. So we're going to start with the book that I'm most excited for. And that was a tough decision, but this week that is Cyborg, issue number 1. Cyborg from DC Comics, written by Morgan Hampton, who is a newcomer, who's done some independent work, who was a member of the Milestone Initiative. So 12 writers, 12 artists got to take classes from the Kubert School, get mentorship from real life comic creators such as Francis Manapul, Dennis Cowan, Reggie Hudlin, and plenty more mentors. Anyway, out of that cohort of people came quite a few writers, including Morgan Hampton, and he's been able to secure some work with DC, namely this title, Cyborg, a sort of lifelong ambition. So I'm excited to see what Morgan brings to the title, given how big of a fan of Cyborg he is. And the moment that he gave Cyborg in the DC Comics Power celebration a couple months ago makes me feel like this series is going to be pretty good. So I'm excited to see what Morgan brings to the table. Art on this series is by Tom Rainey, who you're probably familiar with through Jeff Thorne's Green Lantern run and the Future State stuff. I'm not as excited about Tom Rainey on art just because Cyborg is a book where, is a character with a big mechanical suit, and I feel like that would look cooler in like a more like traditional 90s style artist or something like that. I said traditional. It's not like 90s was traditional. It was extreme. But anyway, I'd like to see something more like that. Someone like, I don't know. Who would I like to see on a Cyborg book, drawing Cyborg? Marco Santucci, I think would be a good one. But there are a lot of other people. Anyway, all in all, I'm excited to see what happens. I think with the more cartoony style, obviously George Perez was sort of cartoony. So it's not going to look like completely out of place on a Cyborg book, but I'm excited to see, or curious to see, how Tom Rainey's style matches the tone of the book and what I'd like to see. Cover price on this book is $3.99. I'm going to grab the cover A by Edwin Galman, who is one of my favorite up-and-coming cover artists. So, like I said, the list is long this week, so let's get into it with the DC Comics on the list, starting with Black Adam issue number 11. Now, I won't hold you for long. I'm kind of falling out of the Black Adam series. This is a book that I'm buying because I want to vote with my dollars and say, hey, I want to see more Christopher Priest work. The issue with Christopher Priest work is it often reads better in trade. And ever since Rafa Sandoval left this title of issue 7, it's been a little bit harder to keep me in, grips. But series is ending with issue 12. I'm going to go back and binge the second half of the series, just like I did with the first. And, I think it'll read a lot better that way. Cover price on this is $3.99. I'm grabbing cover A. Next up is The Flash, issue 799. This is the second to the last issue of Jeremy Adams' run. It's the last full issue that he's writing. And I'm kind of sad about that fact, but I've loved everything that he's done with Wally West, the West family, and the greater Flash family for that matter. The 1 Minute War I felt like was kind of, felt like it went a little slow to be 1 minute, but I still enjoyed it. I enjoyed all the moments. I just didn't like that we got a very nice, neat reset button at the end that just kind of undid all the tragedy. But I mean, hey, I had fun while we were having fun, and the status quo got reset for the next writer. Can't really be too mad about that. But all in all, I've really enjoyed the Jeremy Adams run. And because I like this so much, I'm still reading Jeremy Adams' Green Lantern, despite my feelings about Hal Jordan. So anyway, Adam's Last Stand, issue 799 is out this week. Cover price is $3.99. I'm grabbing cover A. And the next book on the DC pull list is Superman, issue number 4. Superman, written by Josh Williamson with art by Jamal Campbell. Love, love, love this series. We've got Superman versus Parasite. Superman's got to team up with Lex reluctantly, and it's fun. It's really fun. I can't even lie and act like this feels like the Superman animated series. I never watched the Superman animated series. I found it to be boring as a kid, and I haven't revisited it in my adulthood. So I will say it feels like an animated series in that the story arcs are short. You kind of get a who's who of Superman villains in the Rogues Gallery, and the art is amazing. It is absolutely amazing. Love this series. Definitely in the top 5 at DC for sure. Superman issue 4 has got a cover price of $4.99. I'm grabbing cover A. And the last book on the DC Comics pull list is a brand new number 1 from Tom Taylor. And I don't know who's on the art. I don't know. But Titans, issue number 1. Yes, the Teen Titans have grown up. They are the Titans. And the Titans are taking the place of the Justice League in this sort of dawn of DC era post-Dark Crisis. The Justice League's got to go away and take a stock, take an inventory and say, hey, how are we doing? Are we doing all right at doing our jobs? And so while they're taking stock, going on their little sabbatical, sitting in the monastery, meditating and whatnot, the Titans are here to take over their business. So I'm excited to see that. I really love Tom Taylor when he's writing team books. I've not been as big a fan of his solo books outside of or when they are in mainline continuity. I love Nightwing. It just feels like it's dragging on a little bit long. And I wasn't a big fan of Superman Son of Kal-El. It just feels like the story just moves slower when he puts it in an ongoing series. Whereas something like Deceased, something like Dark Knights of Steel, I just eat it up. But I think Tom Taylor is at his best when he's writing teams, where he's writing that interpersonal dialogue, writing jokes between characters and stuff like that. And so I'm excited to see how Titans goes, especially since Titans have this youthful, exuberant energy about them. So that's going to be fun. Cover price on that is $3.99. I'm grabbing cover A. And that's it for the DC Comics on my pull list. If I stick to that list, those are going to cost me $21 this week. Let's move on to Marvel, where there's a ton of books on the pull list, including The Avengers issue number 1. Yes, a brand new Avengers title from Jed McKay. And I think it's CF Villa on the art. But yeah, I don't read a ton of Marvel books. Most of what I read in Marvel is either X-Men or Spider-Man related. And that's simply because it's kind of hard to find jumping in points. People at Marvel still tend to get really long runs, or they're rebooting, they're doing a bunch of number 1s, but the number 1s really coincide with the number 1 from 6 years ago, or from 2 years ago, or from 6 months ago, and it's still telling an ongoing story, even though it's a new miniseries. Anyway, the point is, I find that Marvel is kind of hard to jump into, but you know what's not hard to jump into? Team books. Because even if I don't understand exactly who the character is and all the lore around him or her, I can understand your role on a team. I can see how your personality works with another hero's personality. And I can see how you guys decide to put aside your differences and work together to accomplish a problem, save the world, and so on. So when there is a new title like The Avengers, like the Justice League, like Titans out this week, then I'm gonna pick it up so that I can learn a little bit more about these heroes, this universe, the challenges, and maybe that goodwill from this series will follow them into their solo character or solo comic series. All that to say, I'm excited for a new Avengers title. Cover price on this is $4.99. I'm grabbing cover A. Now, moving on to Fantastic Four issue number 700. Issue 7 is also issue 700 in legacy numbering, and it's written by Ryan North. I've really been enjoying Fantastic Four. It's just been a really fun book. Each issue is fairly self-contained. They are kind of weaving an overall narrative, but for the most part, you can read one issue without reading the others, and I love that characteristic of any comic book. I appreciate it because my pull list is crazy long as it is. Am I really going to remember multiple ongoing story arcs? I don't know. Depends on how busy my work week is. But anyway, issue 700 is going to be an oversized anniversary issue. Dr. Doom's coming back. I mean, you can't have a Fantastic Four anniversary without Dr. Doom, right? Cover price on this one is $5.99. I'm grabbing cover A. Next up is Miles Morales Spider-Man issue number 6. Now, I feel kind of bittersweet about Miles Morales. I absolutely loved the first 5 issues of Cody Ziegler and Federico Vincentini's Miles Morales run. We got that storyline wrapped up with issue 5. Rabble is taken care of for now, at least. And I really thought it was a really well executed story arc, a great introduction to a new villain, a great introduction to Miles and sort of his breaking points and so on. Great. All great. What I'm not reading right now is Carnage Reigns, and this is part 2 in the Carnage Reigns series. So I'm hoping that I can read Miles Morales without reading the Carnage Reigns tie-in stuff, but chances are I'm going to have to double back and grab Carnage Reigns. And if Miles Morales is good enough, I don't necessarily mind doing that. Just not this week where there's this many books on the list. Miles Morales issue 6 has got a cover price of $3.99. I'm grabbing cover A. Next up, this book is honestly a chopping block contender, but I really loved issue 1. This is Planet of the Apes, issue number 2. Written by David F. Walker. Oh, I never remember the artist. That's bad because I love art and I will almost never read a comic with bad art. So I should probably remember the artist names or at least note them down somewhere, right? But Planet of the Apes, written by David F. Walker, art by Dave Wachter. This is definitely like set in the whole Planet of the Apes, Rise of the Planet of the Apes, Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, something of the Planet of the Apes. I missed a movie there somewhere. But anyway, it's set in that continuity. Apparently there's a 4th movie coming set further in the future. And this book, this miniseries is going to kind of tackle the gap between the last time we saw Caesar and company and the next time we get, the apes on the Planet of the Apes. I really, really enjoyed issue 1. This is trying to help us fall in love with apes not named Caesar. So your mileage may vary, but I thought issue 1 was really well done. We got to see some apes. We got to meet the human that's going to be the sort of ape companion throughout this series. And we know what challenges they face with this whole militia who is anti-ape and anti-human ape sympathist. So I thought it was really well done. The only reason it's a chopping block contender is because it's a really bloated week and because this book has a cover price of $4.99. I'm grabbing cover A. Next book on the pull list is X-Force, issue number 40. X-Force, written by Benjamin Percy. I've told you guys week in, week out. This book's amazing. Wolverine's been really good, and X-Force has also been really good. Beast is gone. Sage has taken over the team. She's added Laura Kinney to be her Wolverine. And look, it's dope. It's really dope. So while we've got Wolverine and Beast doing their thing in the Wolverine title, Sage is trying to keep the fort together, keep the X-Force there. And it's a good thing too, because we are slowly inching toward the fall of X, and X-Force is going to be integral in fighting against these threats upcoming and so on. In this version, apparently there's a little bit of time travel involved. They're battling against some future versions of themselves or something. That seems interesting enough. I really like these sort of one and done stories in the middle of these epic story arcs. X-Force issue 40's got a cover price of $3.99. Grabbing cover A. And the last book on the Marvel pull list this week is X-Men issue 22. X-Men written by Jerry Duggan. And like I said, we're gearing up. We're heading straight to the fall of X. And a part of that is reestablishing Orchis as a very, very credible threat to mutanthood, mutantdom, mutant society-ness. Anyway, Orchis is back. Orchis is on the rise. We're seeing Nimrod. We're seeing all kinds of stuff on the cover. So I'm expecting the action to be ramping up in this series as we do speed toward the fall of X. That's exciting. And if you read the Free Comic Book Day Uncanny Avengers book, then you know we're sort of leading to the Uncanny Avengers and picking up on a lot of the threads that both Hickman left behind and that Jerry Duggan planted at the very beginning of this X-Men run 21 issues ago. So X-Men issue 22, I'm very excited for, especially going into the months ahead. Cover price on this is $3.99. I'm grabbing cover A. And that's it for the Marvel books on the pull list. If I just stick to the list, those are going to cost me $28 this week. I should probably cut out some of these books, but hey, let's just get to the rest of the list and then we'll talk about what we can actually cut. The indies on my list this week, pretty modest indie list, starting with from Dynamite Entertainment. This is Disney Villains Maleficent, issue number 1. Can't lie, I wasn't a big Sleeping Beauty fan because I'm a guy in the 90s and I don't know, Sleeping Beauty was for girls. And so I ever really watched Sleeping Beauty like that. I really didn't like, I don't know, I watched every Disney movie, but Sleeping Beauty wasn't one that I revisited. I didn't have this love affair with Maleficent in the way that I really enjoy, say, Scar or Hades from the Hercules movie, or that weird priest dude from The Hunchback of Notre Dame, or Jafar, get a grip, right? Anyway, the point is, I like a lot of Disney villains. I don't know much about Maleficent. The reason I'm buying this book is because I liked the Angelina Jolie movie, and Dynamite is batting 1,000 with these Disney series. Darkwing Duck, Disney villains, Scar, even Gargoyles, I've really enjoyed. So if it's got the Disney badge on it, if it's got the Dynamite logo on it, I'm probably going to grab it. Maleficent issue 1. It's got a cover price of $3.99. It's written and drawn by, is it Soon Lee? I don't know. Art looks beautiful though. Hopefully the story matches. Cover price on that is $3.99. I'm grabbing cover A. And the next book on the indie pull list is Gunslinger Spawn, issue number 20. Gunslinger Spawn, Todd McFarlane, Brett Booth. Always fun, always short, always great looking art. And hey, what else do you want from a comic book? Cover price on that, $2.99. I'm grabbing cover A as well. And the next on the list is Mighty Morphin Power Rangers issue number 108. Listen, Mighty Morphin Power Rangers since issue 100, which has been my jumping on point. Rita Repulsa is back. She's actually Mistress Vile now. She's been looking for a new vessel to kind of pour this energy through and help her conquer the world. Let's just say this feels a lot like the Green with Evil done all over again, but with higher stakes, with more motivation, and with a more powerful Rita, and with deeper implications for our favorite band of heroes from Angel Grove. I've really been enjoying this storyline. I'm still an issue behind, but issue 108 is out this week with a cover price of $3.99. I'm grabbing cover A. And the last book on the pull list this week is The Walking Dead Deluxe, issue number 63. If you know, you know. I'm buying this book because I committed to buying this book for a personal project 63 issues ago. And that project won't be complete for about another 85 issues or something like that. Probably should have thought of that before I started the project, but the project is the project. Cover price on that, $3.99. I'm grabbing the cover A by David Finch. At least it's a great looking book, right? And it's The Walking Dead in color. Anyway, that's it for the indies on the pull list. If I stick to the list, my indie books will cost me $15 this week. And for those of you keeping track at home, you know I have a $50 weekly budget. And I have blown that budget out of the water with a grand total of $64 this week. Now, after my subscriber discount, that'll be something like $57, $58. So what I really should do is cut 2 books from this to be under budget. And I can't promise I'm going to do that, but if I were going to cut 2 books, the first book I would cut would be Planet of the Apes. And the second book I would cut would be Maleficent, just because I'm not super familiar with the character. But I don't know, Disney likes to play games and not reissue stuff and not do hardcovers and all that. So those books are both honestly probably safe on the pull list. And that just means I'm not disciplined. That sucks to say, but hey, what's on your pull list this week? Did you already go to the shop? Are you like me? Are you waiting till the weekend? Gotta wait till payday? Let me know in the comments down below. Let me know what you're dropping from your list this week. Let me know what you're most excited to read. Maybe what your top 5 is going to look like this week. I'm curious, so let me know in the comments down below. Or you can join us in our Comics Are Dope communities on Facebook and or Discord, and you can have that conversation 24/7, whether I'm reading the comments on YouTube or not. So let me know. By the way, huge thanks to the channel family that made this video possible. They're scrolling across the screen right now. They're not over there. They're over there. Thank you guys for making content on this channel possible. Literally could not do it without you. A special thanks. You might notice I'm not sitting behind my computer anymore. It's because my man Tayshawn sent me a tripod to replace my broken tripod so I can actually move around the room. I might even film a video outside next week. You never know. Except you do know, because I don't want car noises and stuff. So I'll be inside. I'll see you guys in another video soon. Till then, stay awesome and make sure you're reading something dope today. Peace.